Attention, duelists! If you could all stop staring at my hair for a moment.
We are back with another video. What's going on, guys? Today we're going to discuss the new Mimighoul support that was announced for Rage of the Abyss. We are about 2 weeks away from the release, and we got to talk about the implications of this new support, whether or not it's going to be tier 1, what the future of the deck is going to be. Let's get into it. Alright, if you guys are new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you leave a thumbs up on the video and ring the notification bell so you stay on top of all the badass stuff we got coming up for you, like the Great Lakes Duelist Championship and the return of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Abridged Progression Series Battle City that's going to be hitting the air soon. Also, just a heads up, we are going to do a giveaway on this video. We're going to give away a secret rare Celine. If you want to get in on this giveaway, all you gotta do is leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the new Mimighoul support. So yesterday we got the live stream from Konami that talked about all the stuff that's coming up in Rage of the Abyss. We got some artwork for some cards. Then they had a breakdown of some of the other features that were going to be in there. Of course, they went over the new Metal Zoa stuff. They went over the Millennium Ankh support, the Blue Eyes. And of course, they went through the Azamina stuff, which, you know, I'm pretty excited about. But then they got into the Mimighoul stuff. And first reaction on the Mimighoul stuff was I was actually incredibly surprised by the amount of support that this got at its second go. Now, I know with a lot of like world premieres, it just kind of depends. It's like a toss-up. When we got a Maze Attraction, I was really excited about that archetype. Maze Attraction is like one of my favorite decks to play. It's just super mid. It's so difficult to play with at least in a competitive scene. Recreationally, it's a lot of fun, but on a competitive level, it's just very slow. The best you can build the deck, it's still hard to be competitive. But the Maze Attraction stuff was one of those archetypes where I was like, okay, like this is going to be awesome. And then it just kind of flopped. Like they brought out Dominator and they're like, that's it. Now with the Mimighoul stuff, it's completely different. They've got this massive wave of support coming that I did not see. I was expecting like maybe 1-2 cards, but we got a ton of it. So let's go over it now. All right, the first one we're looking at here is Mimighoul Armor. And during the main phase, you can flip these, apply these effects in sequence. This turn, Mimighoul monsters can't be destroyed by battle. Solid. Give control of this card to your opponent as normal. And then during your main, you can special summon it just like all other Mimighouls, or if your opponent controls a monster, special summon this card face up on your field. This is mid. It's good. It's another name, which is helpful. Plus, you know, if you've got another Mimighoul you can set on your opponent's field, it's a free special summon for the Xyz monsters that we're going to be getting into. Next one we're looking at is Mimighoul Fairy. This was another one that was teased in the Charm art for the spell card. And it's got the normal Mimighoul effect. This turn, you can't activate the effects of monsters special summoned from your hand. Then give control of this to your opponent. And if this is another one of those where during the main phase, you can, you know, normal Mimighoul effects. Or if you control a Mimighoul monster, you can special summon this card face up on your field. So again, it's another name, and it gets you another body for the Xyz monsters. This bad boy right here is probably the ace of the release that they've given in the Rage of Abyss, and I would probably say I would imagine they have to put this as a super. This is such a good card. Main phase, your opponent can special summon a Mimighoul monster from their deck to their field. This basically gives you an extender into Dragon, which is huge. Gets you your field spell, which makes the deck, or if you've drawn into the field spell, you can get into Room, and you're pretty much good to go from there. You get control of it back. Next part of this is really cool. During your main phase, you can special summon this card from your hand to your opponent's field, normal Mimighoul, or if your opponent controls more monsters than you do, which they are if you're going turn 1, you can special summon this card face up on your field. So again, gives you a body. If you draw into 2 of these suckers, you can still set one of these bad boys and get a body down on the field right away. This is going to be a really cool card. Curious if they're going to give it the super rare treatment. We're going to have to see, because they got a lot of support in this one. This guy right here is freaking nasty. Giant Mimighoul requires 2 level 1 monsters. your non-Xyz Mimighoul monsters can attack directly while your opponent controls a face-down monster. That is freaking filthy, which is going to come in handy towards the end of this card's effect. If this card is Xyz summon, you can add a Mimighoul card from your deck to your hand. That's huge. That gives you any card that you may need, and especially if you've only special summoned to your field so far and you haven't gotten a normal summon in yet and you need to get to like Dragon or you need Archfiend to flip. This is your guy, man. Then you can target face-up cards on the field up to the number of face-down monsters your opponent controls, destroy them, and if you do, inflict 1,000 to your opponent for each destroyed. So Konami just deciding to give us an OTK here. So yeah, there's definitely some potential here for an OTK. Again, this stuff is so new that playtesting is going super heavy right now. So, and make sure to join up if you're a fellow Mimighoul duelist to that Mimighoul Duelist Facebook page as well. A lot of conversations happening there right now about the potential of this deck and some of the tech that we can slide into this deck to optimize it, because I'm really impressed with this new support. Let's get into the next Xyz monster. Mimighoul Throne, the second Xyz monster. You can detach a material from it and special summon Master from your hand, deck, or graveyard. This is great. I'm still just going to be running one Master, but this is great. It makes it viable in the deck. Quick effect, you can target a Mimighoul Master you control, equip this card to it as an equipped spell that gives it 1,000 attack. So basically that's going to boost Master up way heavy, and then the potential, if you've got the other Xyz, to attack directly. And then during your main phase, if you can get that other Xyz out, you can activate its effect and potentially burn for game. So after it says then you can return cards from the field to the hand up to the number of materials this card had. So again, it bounces cards back. It's going to give Master some really heavy attack points. He's already pretty solid after turn 1 with Dungeon on the field, but this is pretty big. Another really good card. I think these two round out. I think the next thing we could be looking for, hopefully, is like a Link 1, some kind of extender would be great, but so far this is pretty good, man. All right, Mimighoul Fork. This one's kind of interesting. I'm not 100% sold on this card yet. Mimighoul Fork's cool, but it's only in like certain situations. It really depends on what monster your opponent has face down on their side of the field. It depends on what Mimighoul you send over them. If it's really do or die, again, unless you're going with the Kashtira build, I'm not sure Cerebus has room in this deck. I mean, like I said, it's an extra body. Currently, I run the Kashtira, so you know it's at least one of in the deck. But Fork, I'm seeing cases where people are like, nah, I ain't running this, to some cases where people are like, maybe one or two, because of course you can banish this card and add another one. So really it's either 0 or 2. There's no point in just running one. You're either going to run 0 or 2, most likely. I think it's okay just given a certain situation. Either, you know, you're going to force your opponent to activate that flip effect, or you're going to send it and draw 2 cards, which isn't a bad thing. I'm going to try it out with 2 to begin with and see from there. But again, that Mimighoul Duelist group on Facebook is crucial if you guys want to get in on the conversation so we can stay open about the best choices to make when it comes to this new build of the deck. Finally, we get to Mimighoul Charm. Once per chain during main, if you Mimighoul monster your opponent controls is flipped face up, you can randomly choose a face down card in your opponent's extra deck. If it's a monster that can be special summoned, you get it on your field, but it can't activate its effects. No problem, that's just link fodder at that point. If it wasn't, or it can't be special summoned, you banish the card. So again, I think it's either 0 or 1 on this bad boy. I've seen cases for both. I think I might try 1 since there's so many different ways that we can get into Mimighoul cards now. I might try 1, but that's about the extent that is going to be seeing in this deck as far as I'm concerned. I wouldn't run any more than 1, but again, the conversation's open, be a part of it. So let's talk about the potential of this being a tier 1 deck. It's funny because this has always been known as kind of a troll deck ever since it came out, because flip effects are the laughing stock of Yu-Gi-Oh! Let's face it, it's such an old technique. But when you create an archetype around that summoning feature, the flip effect, and you make it the strength to lock your opponent out because of those flip effects, it's going to be kind of different, and it's going to get people to get creative with these builds, because again, it's not super combo heavy. I mean, you're not setting up this massive crazy board, but what you are doing is setting up a board that makes it tough for your opponent to play, and that they've got to work around it. There's definitely some good potential here. There's some cards in this that they've just released that I feel are good with certain decks. There's some cards that, you know, it may not work great with one deck and then might be good against like Tempai and stuff like that, like, you know, armor. So I don't know, it's kind of interesting. I'm excited personally. I can't express that enough. This support kicks ass. I'd say it's like probably a B, maybe a B plus. There's a few other things we could get to fill in some gaps, but if they sprinkle them in over the next couple of core sets, man, we are going to be eating good with the Mimighouls. I love the support. I think it's great. The Xyz monsters are fantastic, and I'm looking forward to this, man. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. Again, if you want to get in on that giveaway, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think of the Mimighoul deck. If you've played with it at all, or if you've never played it before and now you want to get into it, because now's the time, man, because prices are going up on all this stuff, and it's going to be interesting to see what kind of impact this has on the meta, and if people are going to be legitimately trying to run this. I know I'm definitely going to try to run it at locals. It's starting to be a little bit more fun and a little bit more playable now with this massive amount of support. It'd be exciting to see what else they add, but as always, we appreciate your support. We'll talk to you guys next time. Until then.
Deuces.
Penguins!